Hey guys, and welcome to another video. My name is Kirsty and today I'm going to be showing you my November book haul. Yeah, so a little story. I was about to pre-film some of the Bookmas videos I'm going to do, and I was looking at my YouTube schedule and I was just like, oh, I haven't filmed a November book haul. Oh dear, I should probably do that now. So hence, no makeup, looking like an absolute scruff. So yeah, I don't know how long this video is going to take, so I don't know if there's more or less books from last month, but I'm just going to fly through it and we'll see how we get on. So I'm going to split it into sections again like I did with last month. So I'm going to go graphic novels first, books that I brought, books that I got for my birthday because November was my birthday month, academic books, and then subscription books at the end. So that's the order I'm going to go in. First of all, graphic novels. I only brought one graphic novel this month and that was Disenchanted, and this is by Simon Spurrier, German Aaron Mausby, Kurt Hathaway, Digicore Studios and Emma Price. And this is about folklore, so it's got fairies, goblins, leprechauns, pixies, and just a sneak peek of the artwork there. Isn't it amazing? So I really can't wait to get around to this because I love folklore and I just think it'd be really interesting in graphic novel form. Graphic novels done. Okay, now we move on to the books that I brought myself. There's a lot. There's quite a lot. Oh god, okay, so most of these I got from the charity bookstore that I work at, which means that I got them for a really good price, $1.50 each, and then on top of that we do 3 books for $2, so again another brilliant deal on top of that. And then there were deals on Amazon where there was 3 paperbacks for £10, so I was like, yes, living. So that's what happened. Okay, so the first book that I brought is The Fairest of All, and this is by Serena Valentino, and this is a story of how Maleficent came to be. And Serena Valentino has done a collection of these. So there was The Beast Within, there is one about Ursula, there's a new version of this one. I feel like there's another one but I really can't remember. But I decided to get this one because I do have The Beast Within, which is about the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. It's fairy tales and I like Sleeping Beauty, so I bought it. Then we have Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett. I bought this because I love Jen Bennett's debut novel, which was Night Owls. I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the characters, the writing style, and I was a bit apprehensive to buy this one at first because it didn't really sound like my cup of tea. But after rereading the premise and reading a little bit of the first chapter, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And it's Jen Bennett, so it can't be that bad because I just loved Night Owls. Then we have another middle grade novel, and that is Eliza Rose, and this is by Lucy Worsley. So this book is about Catherine Howard's cousin, and she is taking part in the Henry VIII's court, and it's about her trying to be a strong female during where females were kind of just hushed and put to one side. It sounds very interesting. I know Lucy Worsley has done a book on Queen Victoria as well, but she doesn't really interest me. Oops, sorry guys. But I did love the Tudors when I was younger, so I decided to give this one a go. Another middle grade novel because that's what I have seemed to buy a lot of this month. And that is The Girl Who Saved Christmas by Matt Haig. If any of you are regular viewers of my channel, you will know that I absolutely love Matt Haig's writing. I read Reasons to Stay Alive a few years back, loved it. I read The Humans, loved it. Read How to Stop Time, probably one of the best books that I have read this year. I know that he's done quite a few middle grade novels, but this is the first one that I'm going to read that has been by him. So, and it's Christmas, so you know, it would be interesting to see how he writes middle grade novels. Another Matt Haig book, because why not? This is the illustrated edition of How to Stop Time, and it's illustrated by Chris Riddell. So we have beautiful blue spray painted pages here, and I'll show you a couple of the illustrations. So we have a wolf there, and this is one of the fellow teachers at the school that the main character goes to work at. So it's just absolutely lovely, and because I loved How to Stop Time, I just had to get the illustrated edition because it's amazing. So this is a series. So I brought First Class Murder by Robin Stevens, and this is book 4 in the Murder Most Unladylike mystery series. This is book 4, and I found this in the charity bookstore that I work at, and Amazon was having their 3 for £10 paperbacks deal. So I brought book 1 and book 4, I think. This is book 3. No. Oh god, I really don't know. Well, okay, these are other books in the series. So we have Murder Most Unladylike, which is number 1. And then we have Jolly Foul Play, which I think is number 4. This is number 4 and this is number 3. So I need to get number 2. I am starting a new middle grade mystery series, which is very interesting. And because obviously I don't have enough copy of these, I mean, all my life. No, but seriously, joking aside, is another version of City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This again was in the charity bookstop that I work at. I don't have these covers, so I was like, you know what? Time to start buying these covers. So yeah, you don't need me to talk about City of Bones. You know what it's about. Vampires, werewolves, demon hunters. Another middle grade book. Woo! And that is book 1 in the Skullduggery Pleasant series. I first read this series when I was about 10 and I absolutely loved it, but I couldn't afford to keep buying the books because I was 10 years old and didn't have money. And then I gave them away to charity, and fast forward a few years, I completely regret giving them away, so I am going to rebuy them all. So I brought this one from my charity bookshop. I am on the lookout for the rest of the series. This is about a skeleton who is a detective, and there's necromancy and magic in it and everything, which is brilliant. Then we have C.L. Taylor's The Treatment, and this is her first young adult crime novel. She normally writes adult crime and her books are amazing. I thoroughly recommend them. But this is her young adult debut and I just had to give it a go. I did have an arc for this, but I haven't read it yet. Oops. But I have the final copy, so it's all good. So I can't wait to get around to this one. And this was also on a special offer in Tesco where they do 2 books for £7. And the second book that I got was Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I have seen this everywhere and I've seen so many good things said about this book, and I don't actually know what it's about. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna buy it, I'm gonna give it a go. So it is about strangers in hazmat suits. Okay, so it sounds like More Than This by Patrick Ness. Is it this world or the other that's the dream? The answer lies in a journey more wondrous and horrifying than anything Jason could have imagined. So it's giving me More Than This vibes. I'm guessing it's going to be really good because I really enjoyed More Than This. Then we have one of my most beloved possessions, and that is the US paperback version of Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton, and this is the first book in a trilogy. So this is the first book, the second book is Traitor to the Throne, and the third book, which is coming out very soon, is called Hero at the Fore. And I just absolutely love these US covers, so I just had to get them. And the Traitor to the Throne isn't out in paperback yet on Amazon, so I am patiently waiting for that one. I am glad to have a second copy of this book. I just absolutely love the cover. Then we have the second book in a series, and that is Sanctum by Madeleine Roux, and this is the second book in the Asylum series trilogy. I think it's a trilogy, but it's got like novellas in between. I absolutely loved the first book. I thought it was gripping, entertaining, it was just scary, and as soon as I finished the first book I went onto Amazon and I ordered this one because it's just absolutely brilliant and I loved the writing. It's a floppy paperback, which is also a win, and also there are brilliant chapter pages, and if that wasn't enough, there's pictures, which is just the cherry on top of the cake. So I can't wait to get around to this one. And then we have another book that I have been wanting for absolutely ages, ever since I first heard about it, and that is Dear Martin by Nick Stone. It's very short, but I have heard loads of reviews that say it's short but it packs a punch, and it's a very, very poignant story about the Black Lives Matter movement and shootings, and how the main character called Justice deals with this. You know what? I'm really, really excited to get round to this. I think it's going to be a brilliant read and really heartfelt and just eye-opening. And Angie Thomas has blurbed it saying it's a must-read, so it must be brilliant if Angie Thomas has blurbed it. Next up we have another series, and I got this the other day. It was In the Works, which is a UK stationery / bookshop, and it had the whole box set for £10, and I knew I could not argue with that. And that is the Poison Study series by Maria V. Snyder. I have been eyeing this series for quite a while because I just thought it looked really interesting. So when I saw it on offer for £10, I just thought that I had to get them, and the spines look so pretty together, and that's really heavy to hold, so I'm going to put them down now. I have the whole series, so now I can binge read them whenever I have the time. Moving on to the second pile of books. Then we have The Dazzling Heights by Catherine McGee, which is the second book in the 1000th Floor trilogy. Isn't this cover just absolutely beautiful? It's just so nice. And there it is naked. It has The Dazzling Heights in silver embossed lettering. And to be honest, I can't even tell you what it's about because I haven't even read The 1000th Floor yet. But I'm just obsessed with the covers, and I think it's about like a really, really tall building that has 1000 floors. And the higher up you go is how luxurious, well, it's like the class system. So the people who live at the bottom of the building are like the lower class, the poor, that live in poverty, and then the higher up you go, that's where all the upper class and rich people live. And I think it's just about the class system and politics and interesting things like that. And that wasn't sarcasm. Politics does actually interest me, but I think this is just going to be absolutely amazing. I have heard Margot from Epic Reads rant and rave about this series, so I cannot wait to start it. Then we have another one of my absolutely prized possessions, and that is Hunting Prince Dracula by Kerry Maniscalco. If you are a regular watcher of my channel, you will know that I absolutely love Stalking Jack the Ripper. I love this book. I listened to them both on audiobook, and the narrator was Nicola Barber, and she does such an amazing job of narrating these books. And I just knew that I had to get the physical copies as well, and I'm really glad that I did, because there are illustrations in this book that obviously I didn't get to see when I was listening to the audiobook. So I'm glad now that I have the finished copy so I can reread it again in all of its glory, because it is just absolutely amazing, and I thoroughly recommend everyone to read this because I just love it so much. And then we have the Man Booker Prize of 2017, and that is Lincoln in the Bardo by George Sanders. And this is about ghosts. So I'll read out the blurb to you. It says, February 1862. The American Civil War rages while President Lincoln's beloved 11-year-old son lies gravely ill. Days later, Willie dies and is laid to rest in a Georgetown cemetery. Newspapers report that a grief-stricken Lincoln returns alone to the crypt several times to hold his boy's body. From this seed of historical truth, George Saunders spins an unforgettable story of familial love and loss that breaks free of realism, entering a supernatural domain, both hilarious and terrifying. So basically what it sounds like is the supernatural meets comedy. I'm interested to see why it won the Man Booker Prize. Basically, I'm always very intrigued to read the books that win prizes, and this is the Waterstones exclusive edition, which contains a deleted scene from the book, and this cover is also brilliant. It's got like a little window there that you can see. Then we have something that came out on the 7th of November and holds a very special place in my heart, and that is the 10th anniversary edition of City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. This cover is just brilliant. At the beginning there is the fan art end pages. We have fan art here, and again, and again, and then we have the normal book in the middle, And then also at the end we have other fan art end pages, which is fantastic, and I'm really excited to have this in my hands because I love City of Bones and I'm really excited to reread it. And it's beautiful. I mean, how could you not want to buy it? It's brilliant. Then we have another one that I also brought from my charity bookshop, and that is The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. And I haven't heard a lot about this book. We sold the paperback version and the hardback version in my store, but I really like this hardback cover, so I decided that I had to get it. And the blurb says, there are books you can't stop reading which keep you up all night. There are books which let us into the hidden parts of life and make them vividly real. There are books which, because of the sheer skill with which every word is chosen, linger in your mind for days. The Shock of the Fall is all of these books. I'm thinking it's a book about books, which makes me very interested because I love reading about books, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. I have no idea about anything else of the book, so I'm going to read it, I'm going to see, and I'm going to review it. Then we have two of the exact same book, but they're not exactly the same, if that makes sense. On October 31st, okay, yeah, this is supposed to be a November haul, but I don't think I included this in my October haul, so we're gonna go for it. I brought two versions of the same book, and that is the limited edition version of A Darker Shade of Magic. So we have the UK limited edition and the US limited edition, and I got both because the US version is signed and the UK version isn't. I like the US kind of chapter pages, and the UK version doesn't have these, but this is the US version and they have great chapter pages, and then these are just the UK versions. So I had to get both. I just had to. There was no choice. No regrets at all. Then we have a middle grade novel that I have heard loads and loads of people raving about, and that is The Wizards of Once by Cressida Cowell. And she is the author of How to Train Your Dragon. And this is a fantasy novel about magic and forests and warriors, and there is illustrations in it at nearly every page, so you'll be entertained whilst reading it, which is a brilliant thing. I was watching Reagan over at Peruse Project's readathon video, and she read this book and she really enjoyed it. So I'm excited to give it a go and see what I think. The next book is an absolute monster. It's so heavy. Oh. And that is Stephen King and his son Owen King's Sleeping Beauties. It's absolutely massive. I was a bit apprehensive to buy this at first because I read the blurb and it sounds quite misogynistic. It's basically about when women go to sleep and they never wake up. So it's a world without women, and I was like, okay, do I really want to read something like this? But I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a go. I haven't read any Stephen King before. I'm intrigued. I am intrigued, but the sheer size of this completely, puts me off. But you know what? I do really want to read it and just see what it's like. It's kind of giving me some Strange the Dreamer vibes here because there's some moths, but it's not like Strange the Dreamer. So we will see. I'm glad I've got it though, and it only cost me £10 in Tesco, which is a UK supermarket, and the retail price is £20, so I saved £10, which you can't argue with. It's just an amazing price. And then this is the last of the books that I brought myself, and I got this one from Tesco as well, and it only cost me £6. And that is Kristen Ritter's Bonfire. If you don't know who Kristen Ritter is, she is an actress and she plays Jessica in Jessica Jones, the Marvel series that's on Netflix. And this is her debut novel. I think it's her debut novel, please don't quote me on that. Basically it's a crime and thriller novel, and it's by Kristen Ritter, which is why I brought it, because I love her, she's amazing, and I'm excited to see what her writing style is like. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the books that I was brought for my birthday. There's only two, so this is going to be really quick. Okay, so the first book that my parents brought me for my birthday was My Neighbour Totoro, and it's The Art of the Film. So if you watched my October book haul, I brought myself The Art of Spirited Away, which is another Studio Ghibli film. And because I love My Neighbour Totoro so much, my parents decided to buy me this one. So it just gives you the drawings from the film and how they actually turned those drawings into the actual images that you see. And I just think it's really interesting because I'm a massive fan of Studio Ghibli. I love the company so much. I am excited to start this new collection of the art of books. And if you didn't think that was enough Studio Ghibli-ness, my parents also brought me the autobiography book of Hayao Miyazaki's films, and it is Turning Point from 1997 to 2008. So this is the second book in the Turning Point kind of thing. What is it? Duology, that's the word. Oh my life. I really couldn't think of the word then. I don't have the first book because I just can't find it anywhere. But this is the second book, and it talks through Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, Howl's Moving Castle, all of the films I watched whilst I was growing up. So I'm very interested to read about those films, how they came about, and Hayao Miyazaki's take on them. So very exciting read. Can't wait to read it. Okay, so those are the books that I was brought for my birthday. Now we're going to move on to the classics slash academic books that I brought. So all of these are from charity shops because I feel like you find the best academic books there because people just kind of get rid of them once they're done with their studies, and I'm like, oh, I'll have that one, I'll have that one. So the first one is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I am doing the Gothic module at university, so I'm currently really obsessed with Gothic novels. So I saw this in my bookstore that I work at, and it was £1.50, and I was like, you know what, I need to get it. So Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. Then we have The Haunted House by Charles Dickens, and this has also got written pieces by Elizabeth Gaskell, Wilkie Collins, who are brilliant feminist Gothic writers. So it's only short, but I really can't wait to read it because, again, obsessed with Gothic literature at the moment. And then the last one is one that I bought from the Oxfam bookstore, from the town where I live, and that is The Feminist Challenge by David Bouchier, and it's about the movement of women's liberation in Britain and the United States. So it just talks about the rebirth of feminism, public policy, after the vote, the first wave of feminism, the second wave of feminism. So very excited to read about this because I love reading about feminism so much. I think it's very interesting and it's very empowering. And then the last two are books that I got from book subscription boxes. Here they are. I'm not going to show you them because of spoilers, and there might be people watching this video who haven't received the box yet. But these two books I got from the November Fairy Loot box. So if you do want to see what books that were included, I will include a link in the description box below, or I'll put it on the screen here. So these are two books that I got in my Fairy Loot unboxing. And yeah, that is it for my November book haul. There was a lot of books, I know. I did try to skim through as much as possible. I've been filming for half an hour. How am I going to edit this down to a reasonable watching time? I don't know, but I will find a way. So if you did like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you've got any comments, questions, feedback, what books did you read this month? What books did you buy this month? Let me know in the comments box below. And I do post videos on Mondays, Tuesdays and Fridays. So if you want notifications for when those videos go up, just click on the bell icon below. But pause, wait, I am doing Bookmas, remember? So that plan is going to just completely derail because I'm going to be posting every single day from the 13th till the 24th of December. So that's a lot of videos to film and plan and edit. So there probably won't be many more videos going up before that, but I will try. But again, I have university assessments, so there's only so much that I can do. That is all I have left to say. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!